Hush Talk. So today we are here with Prishita, who is the founder of I Am Alive community, and we are here today to speak about pain, healing, and acceptance.
So first of all, thank you so much, Muskan, for inviting me to Hush Talks. The moment you told me and explained the concept to me, I was really very impressed because a lot of times there are so many things that are within us, that are inside us, and we are unable to raise our voices. Firstly, because we think that what will people think of us? Will they accept us the way we are? So I really like the idea, the whole concept of it. So thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for inviting me. दिल से बोला ये मैंने.
Glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so obviously that would be wrong to ask that have you been in any pain? Every single person has been in some pain or the other. We've all gone through something. So how would you define pain?
It's a beautiful question. I feel that how would you define pain? I think anything which does not allow you to function like on a regular basis, anything which does not allow you to function properly, on a regular basis, I think you can call that situation as being in pain.
Okay.
That is what I think.
Or being numb.
Yeah.
Do you think that pain is important in life?
Unfortunately, it is. Like, if our life will go very smoothly, of course you will get bored with it.
True.
And I personally think that pain is important for your growth. You just need to channelize it in the right manner. We all go through pain. You must have gone through it. I have gone through it. Some people, we all go through pain. But what defines us as an individual is how are we channelizing that pain. Everyone's process is different. Like I have seen people going through pain. They get into the behavior of self harm.
True.
Some convert that into art. You know.
So choosing something that you love instead of going
on the wrong path. So I personally feel that we all go through pain. But what really makes us successful, or I can say victorious, at the end is how do we channelize that pain.
True.
That is something that...
So how would you tell our audience to channelize it?
I think find something that you enjoy doing. Or even if you're not in a position to figure out what is it that you enjoy doing, at least journal your thoughts.
And along with it, I feel expressing your pain.
Just express it. Maybe talk
Whatever
to someone.
Happy, sad.
Talk to someone. Express your feelings. Join a hobby course. It could be dance, acting, art, anything, any sort of art form. But do express your pain. Do express yourself.
Like even if you're talking to yourself, if it's not possible for you to talk to somebody else, I guess you should even talk to yourself. That helps a lot.
Right.
Okay, so while we are talking about expressing, so a lot of people think, that crying is some act that weak people do. I would actually be against that statement because crying is something that releases all your pain away to a very big level. What do you think about it?
Absolutely, I completely agree with you on this. Because what do you know the definition of crying?
Okay, I'd like to hear.
It's the emotions that are buried deep in your heart. That is when you cry. The words that are buried deep in your heart.
Okay.
So when you are unable to express those words, the right medium of expression could be crying.
Okay. And just cry. You might be saving yourself from so many other negative emotions and things, because you're letting it, you're feeling it, you're letting it go with your tears and washing yourself away from it.
And it is not something that, people a lot of times says that अरे ये तो रो रहा है तो ये तो कमज़ोर है, स्पेशली वी डू दिस विद मेन
Yeah.
कि
Very much.
ये लड़का रो रहा है तो ये लड़कियों की तरह क्यों रो रहा है.
हाँ.
A lot of times we do
There's
this.
nothing about
There is nothing about being man enough or being a woman, like I don't
Yeah,
think
at least
that,
emotions aren't something that are
yeah,
gender specific or
Exactly.
not
Mm.
really gender specific.
so I think like to all those men in my life I have been through, my father, my brother, I have seen them cry, but
Which is good.
but there is always like it is very tough for my father to break down.
As a like a man.
Yeah, as a
and
man of the family,
Yeah.
it is very tough for him to cry.
But I guess you should. You will let a lot of emotions just go away,
Right.
and yeah, you feel happy. So I feel in more than women, because people think firstly that women cry a lot. Well, a lot of people don't know they do. They might cry, but a lot of times women don't cry in front of people.
Right.
A lot of times they cry inside of closed doors. How would you react? Even men do. They do because they don't want to. And in our generation, mostly people do this, crying behind closed doors. But cry wherever you do, and even in front of somebody. If you want to break down, if you feel like breaking down, I guess you should.
Absolutely.
Does crying even help in a healing process, you think? I mean, there's much more to the healing process. It's a never-ending process. But does crying in particular, do you think, helps in the healing process?
Don't you think it is a part of the whole process?
Yeah, like I'd say rather that healing is a very big process that
And
goes every single day.
yeah, and I think it is different for different people.
Yeah, for every single person. Very true. Somebody might like something and do that. That might help them heal. Somebody
Right.
just might, take a break instead from things, and that might heal them. So yeah.
But again, I would say that there are always two options that we are left with. One is a constructive way of feeling, and one is a destructive way of feeling.
yeah.
So okay, I'll tell you one story. My friend went through a breakup.
Okay.
So she, like, the guy cheated on her. So she was very angry. All she wanted to do was to take revenge from him. So she called me up and she just told me one thing, that Prishita, you know what, I just want to take revenge.
Okay.
So
Well, like, so you're just harming yourself.
yeah, exactly. So I told her that how is it going to like heal you as a person?
Yeah.
It's going to make things worse. So that is the day when I realized that healing can be constructive and destructive, but you have to be very cautious.
True.
Like, if I talk about myself also, like I went through a very tough phase in my life last year. So at one point I thought of like destructing my own self, like maybe by not taking care of myself,
Mhm.
by not eating, by maybe overeating, by eating junk food. So, but you need to be very cautious
True.
that what ways am I
guess even
choosing.
self-harm is something that a lot of people think about, but being at that moment, being very cautious about that thing, being very conscious for your decision is very important in that particular time when you think.
Right.
Because it's okay to think certain thing, and if you consciously just step back from that thing, knowing that that this is not the right thing for me, that what am I doing,
Right.
that the person in front of me is not even going to pay the price, my family will. So why do you even need to do that?
And the very first question I feel we should ask ourselves is, do we really want to heal?
Yeah, very much.
Like, it's the most important question, that do we really want to heal?
A lot of people just sit and they'll be like, I want to feel this pain.
Yeah,
I want to stay in this pain, not feel, but I want to stay
stay
in
in
this
this
pain.
pain. This is life.
Because this makes me feel normal. But I'd say at least, okay, it's okay to feel pain, but that I want to stay is very
right,
wrong.
right.
Feeling is normal. You will have to feel to let it go. Of course, you step by step just leave it behind you with some new experiences entering your life.
But at the same time, Muskan, I also feel that sometimes we are so engrossed in our pain that we feel this is the new normal.
Yeah.
We
because-
don't have the audacity maybe to fix things and to sort out things in our own life. So we feel that okay, this is how life is going to be. But I would still say to all those people who are listening to us that it is important that you ask yourself that do I really want to heal and start working towards it.
True. I guess as a generation, we are moving into a place where we don't even want to express ourselves,
Right.
our feelings. We just want to step back when somebody asks, just close the doors and
Right.
just don't open up to anybody, because you never know who's gonna use your feelings against you. But there are people out there who want to listen to you and who are actually, good in a
Right.
sense to help you out with things.
राइट तेरे से बात करके ना मुझे ऐसा एक लाइन याद आई
Okay.
कि हर कोई मुखड़ा पहन के जी रहा है.
True. Very.
Like you can't just see a person and tell the like what's their story.
True. Like you might be smiling. but
Yeah,
you're dying
but
inside.
you're dying inside.
Very true.
So
And not one, plenty of people today are doing
we
that.
do this. Have you
Very
ever
much.
been in that phase of life where you are just masking things?
I have. Everybody has, I'd say. Maybe. I mean, we all have been through something or the other.
Right.
It's difficult, of course, but I feel just expressing yourself, just acknowledging that pain, to be exact, is very important, because you're
Right.
never going to leave it behind until you acknowledge it. You be there for yourself. You're never going to leave it behind.
And don't you think it's very rare that we tell ourselves that yes, I am in pain? Don't you think it's tough for us to tell ourselves that, to acknowledge that? I don't think we do that often, like standing in front of the mirror, and I don't think we tell ourselves that okay, yes, I accept the fact that I'm in pain, but I'm willing to work towards it.
Yeah, like I want to be a better person.
Yeah,
I
we
want to
don't
feel
do
better.
that I am in pain. I came across the girl. She was sharing some stuff with me. So I told her, okay, what is the solution?
Mhm.
And she's like, nothing.
How is that possible? Everything was good.
Of course. So she was like, I'm okay this way. Again, it depends on person to person,
Yeah, if
right?
you want to heal or not.
If you want to heal or if you do not want to heal.
True. But you will have to heal someday. Or the
Someday.
other, it will harm you very bad. Like really badly. if you
Right,
don't.
right. Okay, so I heard someone say that gratitude does wonders to your life. What is your take on that?
Well, it absolutely does. I guess, there was this time while I was just, in a community, and I was writing everything I was grateful for. And on a normal day, I still, every single day, I'm grateful for certain things. But while I was writing that down, I was being specific. Like, on a particular day, something happened, and you are specific about that thing because you're writing it. When you are just like being verbal, you're maybe in that very moment you're grateful. Okay, I'm glad this happened. I'm grateful this happened. So it was more beautiful because I remember I used to write very specifically that I am grateful for this thing. And that too at the end of the day when you're done, you're just about to doze off, and you're like, okay, let's write, and it helps immensely.
Right.
You know what's happening good. Everybody is having something with the other bad experiences in their life, but I feel if you should know that even good experiences are happening side by side. It's you want to see the good side or the bad side.
I was listening to a podcast and it was talking about gratitude. So it mentioned two things very beautifully. The first one was that what are the 5 things that you need to learn to be grateful for.
Okay.
So for example, like if someone goes through a breakup or if someone loses his or her job, so we can't tell that person, okay, be grateful,
Can't be
right? but you can tell that person, okay, you can learn to be grateful for this thing. So by doing that, you are planting an intention in your mind that you want to grow.
That this relationship made me learn this.
Yeah. So what is it that
Okay,
you
it's
can
leaving, but I learned this from
Yeah.
this thing. Got it.
So, and the last one, the second thing was, what are the 5 lessons that you learned from this person?
Okay.
For example, if someone bullied you in school,
Mhm.
right? So you cannot be grateful for such things, but when you put that in the list of learn to be grateful for, and after that, what are the lessons?
And it can be, it doesn't matter, that if you are bullied, you can create a change by not being like that
Right,
person
right.
to somebody
Beautiful.
else.
So I found these 2 things very beautiful, and I thought of sharing it with you. That what are the 5 things that you can learn to be grateful for, and what are the 5 lessons that you have learned from a particular person or from a situation. So I found it very different and unique, because we are always told that express gratitude for what you are grateful for, but we are never told that what you can learn to be grateful for.
Exactly.
I may not be grateful for my situation today, but I can learn to be grateful for that.
True. Very true.
So that is something.